How's it going, guys? Apple here today. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to modify this text, modify this code to pretty much any type of code you want. Well, into a printout statement, to whatever printout statement you want. Basically, in the last video we talked about what IOStreams was and int main and how it all works. Today I'm going to be going a little bit more brief into the printout statement and hello, and I'm going to be teaching you guys a little trick that will save you a buttload of time. Of course, we have our print statement, hello world. I can change this to whatever I want it to be. So I could say Bob's cat, and I could put /n, but for this I'm going to put just Bob's cat. And what it's going to do is it's going to print out Bob's cat. Now I could put as many /n's whenever I want. I could put it right here. I could put it in the middle of my sentence. And I could put it, hell, I could replace it as a B at Bob. I could put it pretty much anywhere I want. So as you can see here, because it looks pretty messy right now, we all can agree. If we all seen that, we could see this right here, the string essentially. We could easily tell that it is going to be messy. Now, this is a string. Now, okay, now I'm going to be telling you guys a way to make your life a lot more easier. A lot of programmers know this, and this is super duper helpful. This command line is going to be saving you time, especially if you're going to have to be printing out a bunch of code into a terminal. For example, you're making your own visual novel game, or you have to print out a bunch of code. So what we're going to do is type in using namespace std and a semicolon at the end. Now what this does is gives us the ability to get rid of this and have no errors. This is extremely helpful in coding. So we can see here, if I execute the program, we're gonna have the same outcome. Probably I should mention is a string is a character of letters. Basically, it is always surrounded in double quotes inside of C++. I know in other language it doesn't have to be double quotes, but in C++ it does. And that's really all a string is. But we could add more outputs for this program to actually put. For example, I could put another string, name, and it will still execute it. As you can see here, kite, and then we have our name executed into the terminal. What I'm going to be explaining right now is a lot more of a helpful way of coding. Now, I'm going to be talking about data types. Now, all really data type is basically a way of storing information. You can think of it as a box, like let's say an Amazon box. You could store stuff into that box, but you do have a label that you have to specifically put on that box to put whatever you wanting to put inside that box. And if it's the wrong label, or even the item in the box is wrong to it, it's not going to be pretty. So what I am going to do, since I've been talking about strings, is going to make a string data type, string. Let's name our string name, and I'm going to have it empty. Now, here's something that is very important. If you do not have user namespace std, you are going to have to change this because it's not going to work. You're going to have to change it to std boom boom double dot, and then it will work. But for our example, we are just going to be using in this standpoint. That is something to know for programmers, especially new programmers. So I'm going to be changing my print statement a little bit. So name please, and then we are going to put down these arrows and then name. This will execute and it will work, but since we have nothing in our name, it's not going to print out anything in the spot where name is. So we just have name please and nothing else, mainly because we have nothing to add into that storage spot. Now, a really easy way of thinking about it is this. When you copy and paste something, it is stored into the computer and it is put into a little basically box that, hey, this is for copy and paste. This is the information that is copied and pasted. and then when you copy, and then when you paste it, it finds whatever is in that copy and paste and changes it. For example, I want to change my code, and for this example we do need a input. So I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do an input first. An input is std sin, but for our example, since we're using namespace std, we don't have to add std. So all we have to do is add sin, and remember how I said about the arrows direction, so we added a different direction, and then we put down name. Now for this specifically program, it will execute into our way. So what do you think would happen if we execute this program right now? So I'm going to execute it right now, and then it says name please. Let's say my name is John, and then it's just going to be executing the program, and then that's it. It's going to terminate itself, and that's it. So to actually be able to use our name, we're going to have to basically print out name. So I'm going to do cout, the arrows, and then name, and then a semicolon. And then when you execute the program, let's say my name is Stefan, and then it prints out Stefan right here. And the reason why it prints down on the next line is mainly because you can't really have two cout programs right next to each other. So basically it says cout, and then sin acts right here, and then cout basically, since we already have a cout on the first line, so it'll print out, be like, hey, we can't actually add cout on the first line, so we're going to put it on the next line. So in this, we see it right there. I'm going to be teaching you guys later on ways to manipulate that on my next series, is how to think like a programmer. But let's say this, our program looks ugly. We say what name please, and then we put down fan, and then it just says fan. That's it. I want it to be I want it to be good morning name. So an easy way to do that is printing out a statement, good day to you, and then put our name right there, and then of course we're gonna have to add the arrow keys, and then when we execute the program, it says name please, and then we add Stefan, and it says good day to you, Stefan. Simple as that. Now I'm gonna be proving you guys that this data type is just storage, and that's it. Now if you are into computers or know pretty much anything about computers, you will know there's cache memory. All cache memory is it helps to execute a program that you constantly use. For example, if you use Chrome every day and you turn it on every single day, it's going to store that information of a faster way of programming for executing Chrome, and it will execute it a lot more quicker the next time around. That's why if you haven't used Chrome in a long time, and then when you first time load it up, it takes a while for it to load up. Basically all it does is really store information, and which is the main reason you should never delete caches. They do store memory, and it's very helpful. If you delete them, you're pretty much screwed. So I'm going to be proving you guys all this this data type is just a cache memory. So I'm going to be putting down, let's say in this code, sorry, I didn't catch that. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Please say your name again. And then we just pretty much get rid of this line, and then add a semicolon right there. And then all we do is put down a sin, and then do it again, name, and then we'll just print out our name. Hello. Okay, so in theory, this program should work. So, name please, Stefan. Sorry, I didn't catch that again. Please say your name again. Let's say I want to say John. It says hello John. And simply as that, that's really how data types work. So in this episode, I told you how this is very useful, and I told you how data types work. In the next episode, I'll be talking about a little bit more about data types and different ways to actually store information. So be in touch for that.